Hello there, and welcome back to Grass Me Up, the premier turf podcast. I'm Dr. Russell Sharp, the founder of Utrema Limited. Normally on here, I am sort of a self-proclaimed expert on grass nutrition or disease control, things like this. But today I am an amateur. It's a subject that I know little about, but I just wanted to give you my perspectives on it. Now, a lot of you are amateur lawn care sort of enthusiasts, grass enthusiasts. Some of you are professional grounds people or greenskeepers, but there's also some people who sit in the middle and amateur groundskeepers. And that's what I am. I am an amateur groundskeeper at my local village sports field, which does cricket, football, rounders, and some other events from time to time. And they didn't have a sprayer. And obviously at Utrema, we produce liquid fertilizers on the whole. So they only had a little trundling machine for applying granular products. So I wanted to buy a sprayer so we could put Utrema products down because I can access them free of charge, so I can donate them to the sports field. So I bought a sprayer. So I already had a backpack sprayer and I applied some products with the backpack sprayer. But with 16 to 20 litres, that doesn't provide you with much ability to get on with sort of, a hectare, 2 hectares worth of product. It's a very, very slow process. And so I know I'm not the only person who's sort of struggled to go from backpack sprayer to either tractor mounted or ATV mounted sprayer. Now you can buy self-propelling boom sprayers as well, and that is an option. But if you've got the tractor or the mower available, then you can, in theory, just mount a sprayer on the back, and that is considerably cheaper. And there are a number of options. I just want to talk you through how I got to where I was. So I went for a sprayer that is, let's have a look at the volume, 100 litres. So at least 5 backpack sprayers in one go. So that upped the game considerably. But you can get larger ones. And the reason I went for that particular sprayer was because it was by a factor of about 5, maybe 10 cheaper than alternatives. So it's a cheap product, and I went for the cheap option because the price differential was dramatic. So you're talking under £300 because I can remove the VAT because it's a business purchase. So my theory is if anything goes wrong, then it doesn't matter because it's the first run at it. And if we need to buy an expensive one, we have to buy an expensive one, and we can buy spare parts because the website claims to sell spare parts. So first thing together, put it all together. And then you find that you have to mount it you have to get it, the battery is the same battery as the mower or the ATV that you use. So it doesn't have its own battery. So that's great. I mounted it onto the small mower at the sports field and went out with it and turned the mower off. The problem was that the old battery on this mower didn't like that and quickly ran out of juice, and I got stuck at the other end of the sports field and had to push it all the way back. That was not a fun day. So I then mounted it on the back of the big tractor, and that was fine. That was spraying perfectly well until I turned the battery on and then put the bonnet down on the tractor and snapped the cable, and that was not good. So then I had a full tank of fertilizer, which I had to get rid of. And I just pulled the plug out the back and then sprayed this big line across the sports field. I thought, no one will notice. But because the sports field is so nutrient deficient at the moment, there's just this bright green line across one of the sports fields that swirls around as I just emptied this tank. So top tip, if you've got any issues with your sprayer, don't fill it with fertilizer first. Check it out, make sure it works first before you fill it, because they're difficult to move. And they're difficult, and when they're full as well, if they're not on the tractor, they're a bugger to actually position in the shed. And I've snapped one of the brackets as well doing that, so that was fun. The next things that I messed up is I took it out, I fixed the wires, got it on the back of the tractor, and went to spray it, and nothing would come out. I was thinking, I've blocked the filters. The filters are blocked, which is a common occurrence. No, it was the filters weren't blocked, it just wasn't pumping. So the pump's clearly broken. So I thought, right, well, that's okay, I'll fix the pump. So I pulled it apart. There was nothing, I couldn't find anything in the impeller. And so I then opened up the back of the pump and all these magnets flew out. And I thought, oh crap, now it's definitely broken. That's not a problem. I will just via replacement pump. So another £60 down the drain. I've bought an exact same pump. It looked exactly the same. Came to install it. It's not exactly the same. It's about 2/3 of the size. I connected one part up correctly. The other part, the other side, the outlet, the what's the word for it? The rifling of the screw wouldn't go onto the metal attachment. So I've now had to buy a hose lock attachment to get remove that, and going to install that today. Hopefully that will work. I've got to somehow wire it up as well, and that will be great because I've got no technical expertise in that area either. One of the top tips I did have was, rather than wiring it to the battery of the tractor, my new technique is to just have a car battery sat in the cab with me in the tractor, and then I just turn it on when I want the sprayer to go on, rather than having it on all the time when you're moving. Having the other battery there, this is my top tip, and just connecting it when you need it is really good. You can even have an inline switch in it, but this potentially was good because I want to have a distinct difference between where the pitch is and where the pitch isn't. Because this area is so nutrient deficient, it's a great way of showing the difference between treated and untreated. I think I mentioned in the past, it's so nutrient deficient that we've actually got bee orchids appearing in one section of this sports field. And so I'm going to have drone footage of treated, untreated, and having that ability to turn the sprayer off as and when required will be great for showing that difference. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's been one problem after another, really. I mean, I am not good with tractors. This year's been a bit of a in at the deep end when it comes to tractors, because I've taken over the role as the head grounds keeper. We've got a rota of about 10 people. Things tend to fall off the tractor when I'm driving it, so I've had to do a number of replacements, and making sure you get exactly the right replacement piece has proven difficult. Washers and what fell off the other day? Some sort of hook fell off yesterday and have been mowed about 3 times. So that's been great. So I'll be off to Wessex to get replacement parts for the mower attachment. But yeah, there is a reason why it is a cheap option, and I guess you get what you pay for, but maybe I'll splurge some of the money from sales of liquid gypsum and ultimate iron and things like this into buying a fancier sprayer later in the year. But for now, I'm going to see if I can fix this one. If I am going to increase it, I'll probably increase it to a higher volume as well, so we can do much more of the pitch at once. Let me know your thoughts on moving from backpack sprayers to larger, either push along sprayers or ATV attached sprayers. It's an area that I didn't realize came with so many complications. Obviously, when it goes wrong, if you tank mix it incorrectly, it's a bigger volume to get rid of as well. Luckily, I've not come into any of these issues, because I know I've spoken to many customers and their biggest bugbear is blocked filters. So I avoid that like the plague. All right. Thanks very much for listening. Hopefully that's been of use to some people who are considering buying a tractor mounted sprayer and for upping their game when it comes to grass health. Thanks for listening. Until next time, goodbye.